before we get to there's two clips we have of students, young people that I think are important to check out. But what's been fascinating is watching the right deal with the idea of hundreds of thousands of students protesting something. They can't attack. They try and attack these students. They send Ben Shapiro out there, and he's trying. His big argument is just because you are a victim of gun violence, just because you're subjected to differences in your schooling, like a lockdown drill, or like students are afraid, or the potential of your teachers having to go get guns, or the idea that they're going to have to, that people who are trained to go in and educate have to be trained to carry a weapon and take out a perp. Just because of that does not mean that you have a right to speak out. Ben Shapiro, whose whole profession is dedicated to speaking out, and I don't know exactly how he earned that ability. But they're sending out, and they're so desperate for any line of, like, to parry this onslaught from students. They send out Rick Santorum, and boy, oh boy, are you desperate when you got to send out Rick Santorum. This is how dumb it gets.
This is the bottom line. Is this a political effort? Is this a political movement? It very well may be, and that's fine. I mean, if the organizers, people who certainly supported it, the Hollywood elites and the liberal billionaires who funded this, it's all about politics. Is this really all about politics, or is it all about keeping our schools safe? Because it is about keeping our schools safe. Then we have to have much broader discussion than the discussion that's going on right now. How about kids, instead of looking to someone else to solve their problem, do something about maybe taking CPR classes or trying to deal with...
Pause it. Now, wait a second. So last week they're telling us, hey, just because they're victims doesn't mean that they have the right to talk about gun violence. And now they're flipping this on their head and saying, oh, instead of just talking about it, why don't they actually go out and learn CPR so that when their buddies are shot, maybe as they're sitting there in a pool of their own blood, they could practice CPR and save a life. Think of how both just demented and insane you have to be, that this is your number one talking point. If we're really talking about keeping schools safe, why aren't students out there learning how to take a bullet? Why aren't they learning how to catch bullets or CPR? Or why not teach them trauma surgery? That way they can, in their school, they can learn trauma surgery. They could take the bullets out of their classmates as the bullets go in.
The nanny state will not always be there to protect you. But
all right,
you don't
roll
care.
back so that people can hear this insanity again.
Discussion than the discussion that's going on right now. How about kids, instead of looking to someone else to solve their problem, do something about maybe taking CPR classes or trying to deal with situations that where there is a violent shooter that you
how
can
are they
actually
looking at other
respond to
people?
that.
I would ask you, they took action.
Yeah, they took action to ask someone to pass a law. They didn't take action to say, how do I, as an individual, deal with this problem? And this is the bottom line. Is this a political...
I mean, I don't know what to say. Oh, the action they took yesterday, the action they took was inappropriate, and they just aren't qualified to protest. What the real problem is, they're not qualified to do trauma surgery.
God forbid, a little thing called personal responsibility, old lesbian face.
A number of surgeons have pointed out that CPR isn't necessarily the most helpful thing with gun wounds.
Well, watch MacGyver. Learn how to take a bullet out. Stop being a pussy. These kids want to march everywhere. Meanwhile, they get shot up. They're like sitting duck. It's pathetic.